Republicans are rank amateurs compared to Democrats.
Okay, let's talk about what you would do. We have a budget of about $3.8 billion in outlays that's been proposed by the president today. Once you take out Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, interest payments, all the security issues, you're left with about 14% of the budget you can actually cut. If you get rid of basically that, we're looking at a pie chart here. You're familiar with it. Once you get rid of all that non-security discretionary spending, get rid of all of it. You'd have to get rid of all of it to balance the budget, wouldn't you?
Well, Chris, what you're going to ultimately have to do is reform entitlement spending for future generations. People who are retired or soon to be on retirement, I mean, they need the same deal that they've counted on their whole life, but otherwise, you know, somebody's going to have to shoot straight with the American people. And ultimately, what Republicans will be proposing is, you know, to some extent, we want to make sure you have the same retirement plan and the same health care plan that your member of Congress has. As you well know, that's the Federal Employee Health Benefit Plan. It's the Thrift Savings Plan. It's essentially a defined contribution program. It's the only thing to keep us from bankrupting this economy and being the first generation in America's history to leave the next generation with a lower standard of living. As we all know,
what it all comes down to, sir, is after all this arguing and back and forth last Friday up in Baltimore, the difference between the Republicans and the Democrats, between you, sir, and the Democrats, is that you're willing to stay on national television, as you are right now. You are willing to restrict growth in future Social Security benefits. You're willing to say, for people who make less than 55 or less than 55 years old, you would give them lower Social Security benefits than now projected. You would cut them. You're willing to say that, and they're not. That's the difference between you and them.
I would say that the whole... I'm willing to say that that part of the social contract is going to have to be re-engineered. Listen, people under 55
you use clever,
know
you're using, here we go with the Latinate words. The Latinate words. This is why people don't trust politicians, including you, sir. Re-engineer, reform. You mean cut Social Security benefits as a way of balancing the budget. That's what you just said 3 times. Do you want to say it a 4th time?
I think, no.
Re-engineer, reform. What's your next Latinate word going to be?
If you would look, ultimately, I believe you can get better health care and better retirement security if you go to a defined contribution plan. We had this debate in Social Security a few years ago. Now, ultimately, we weren't victorious. There will be a transition. If you want to say that those under 55, as a transition, are they going to get the same deal as their parents? No, probably not.
Okay, well, sir, you've got a lot of guts to come on and talk about cutting future Social Security benefits, and that's what you've done. That separates you from your leaders, because I'll bet you by tomorrow morning you're going to hear from Eric Cantor and you're going to hear from John Boehner. Are you crazy calling for cuts in Social Security benefits? Anyway, thank you for doing so, because it shows your point of view on how to balance the budget, but that's tough stuff. And people aren't going to like hearing it. Anyway, thank you, Jeb Hensarling.
No,
a true
what I said is you can't do it without reforming entitled spending.
Okay, just days after President Obama stated